Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. And our top story today, the best side hustles for college students. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Michelle Ryan is with Upwork Academy. Michelle, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is a great topic, and a lot of people are turning to the side hustle. You see it across all age ranges. My generation, Gen Xer, but even my parents' generation, turning to freelancing and doing some side hustles. But you have some great information about Gen Zers, college students who are turning to the side hustle. How big is this trend among college students right now to find some flexibility and some work hours?
Yeah, it's pretty popular. And I think, I feel like maybe we're all a little tired of talking about the pandemic, but frankly, it changed a lot of things for Gen Z. They saw this huge disruption. And I was working in career services at universities at the time, and we're trying to get Gen Z jobs, right? That's our role, that's our mission. And during the pandemic, they were having offers rescinded, they were losing internships. And all of a sudden, this traditional employment model, this traditional recruitment model was failing them and doing it really quickly. And so what's great about Gen Z is they're really entrepreneurial, and they kind of came through and they're like, okay, I'm not getting that dream job that I was anticipating. I thought I was going to work for Google or Microsoft, and now I'm having to come back and kind of regroup and think, you know what, I'm not going to get that. I have to do something in the meantime. So I think freelancing and like participation in the gig economy might have started for Gen Z as a way to get through a crisis. And now I think we're seeing their understanding is, oh, I actually don't ever have to engage in traditional employment if I don't want to. We have tons of Gen Z doing freelance work. I think 43% of Gen Z professionals have freelanced or are freelancing. So that might be in conjunction with full-time work, that might be in replace of full-time work, or even just acting right now as a supplement until they can get that dream job that they were looking for. So it's a really popular option for them. I also think it's a remote work issue. Traditional employment, they want you to come into the office. They're coming to recruit you on campus. They're these Gen Z talent pool, and they still want you to go and work at that HQ that's in the metropolitan area. And Gen Z is like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not interested in that. They have really uncoupled the idea of work with a specific location, with an office, with traditional work hours, even. So I think there is something there where they're realizing, wow, I can do remote work, I can make money like this, and I have a little bit more freedom and control over what I'm doing and how frequently and what my work life balance is.
Yeah, really important information there. And look, I'm a Gen Xer and I love remote work. I've been working remotely for a long time, 6 or 7 years. I haven't stepped foot in a client's office in like forever, and I work out of the studio or work out of the home. How much of this, Michelle, is based on, we're experiencing so many high costs, the cost of fuel, the cost of rent, the cost of food going up significantly. Maybe it's ebbed a little bit, it's curtailed a little bit, but it's still high relative to historical norms. How much of this trend is based on not only the flexibility you're talking about, but also these costs, which when you're just starting out in your career, you graduated college, you kind of you're not getting $1 million. Maybe some are, but most are not getting $1 million a year salary or even $100,000 a year salary.
Oh, absolutely. And that's frankly kind of not really factored into your salary, right? They weren't really considering, well, how much gas is it going to take you to get to our office? And I live in Los Angeles, right? Traffic and commuting is not an easy thing. That is not a joke, right? That is a huge chunk of
That's true.
time. That is an enormous commitment. I mean, you think about the additional hours that you spend getting to and from work where you are not doing any work at all. It is significant. So yes, the cost of all of those things, I think, is a really big deal for them. Also, we're talking about, recently within the past couple of years, people who had to relocate out of those major metro areas, and now they're realizing, well, wait a minute, I can't even actually get that New York, LA, San Francisco paycheck because I live in a rural suburb now because I had to relocate. I had to take care of family. I couldn't afford the rent at the time. So now I'm living in a place where I'm even earning less than I was before. And they're kind of saying, well, I don't want to just be limited to the employers that are in the range of a commute. I want to be able to work for whoever I want to work for, and I don't want to be limited to just who I can get to within an hour. But the expenses were enormous. And frankly, also a lot of employers, you're paying for parking, you're paying for, I mean, the additional costs sometimes are just not factored at all into salary. But I think it is a time issue.
Yeah.
How much time are they using and spending commuting and traveling to and from work when they could just be doing the work? They could be at their desk and like log in, in their office at home and actually get to do the things they enjoy as opposed to sitting in traffic to do it.
No, I don't blame them. And I used to live in New York and commute back and forth use via the subway, which at the time wasn't bad. Maybe it's gotten a little bit worse. And the subway fares, we're not going to comment on the reason why, but the subway fares have also gone up. Michelle, how do these freelancers find the work? Because are they getting it through friends? Are they just getting it through sites? How do they find these opportunities? They say, I want to be I don't know, I want to do coding. And I learned coding in college, but how do they find the opportunities?
Well, I work at Upwork, and we are a freelancer marketplace. We are the world's work marketplace. So we are a platform that allows freelancers to find the work. We connect employers and clients with talent who can do the roles or that they can hire for hourly work as needed. But there are a lot of platforms out there that are really great to kind of depending on what the freelancer wants to do. Fiverr is a competitor of ours. TopTal, there's a lot of options, and it's really kind of specific to you and which platform you like best and the kind of work that you're doing. Upwork has the largest range and broad variety of skills available. So anything from, you want to be a coder or a graphic designer to even really great like entry-level roles. We have a lot of positions on Upwork for personal assistants or just admins. And people are like, hey, I just need someone to be able to help me do coordinating or meeting planning. I think that is sort of a stereotype of freelance work, is that it has to be like tech related. And it absolutely does not. Anything that you can do behind a computer, you can do on Upwork and you can do as a freelancer. So I would say the majority of independent contractors or freelancers, I'll use those words interchangeably, will be using a platform like ours to find the work. But a lot of them have done side projects in the past or worked with startups previously or just have a great network, and they'll bring those clients onto the platform. And they'll say, hey, you know what, I'm actually now on Upwork or I'm on Fiverr. Go ahead and add your projects on there. Go ahead and add your work as a client. That's how I'm going to be sourcing work and getting paid. So we do have freelancers who come onto the platform to find work and kind of shop through our marketplace. But we also have a lot of freelancers who come in and they bring their own clients with them. But word of mouth is also really great with Gen Z. If they find a great client, if they find a great company, they're telling their friends. And if they find a great industry or a skill set that's earning a lot of money, there'll be some buzz about that too. Like, hey, did you know that you can make this much? Or this is how much an hour you can earn doing this specific skill. They're certainly pretty good about sharing that info with each other.
Yeah, Michelle, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about freelancing, and we'll talk about some of the top freelance opportunities out there. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Invesco's latest Show Me the Income study reflects on the evolving retirement industry today as it faces the pressing need to help participants turn their defined contribution plan savings into long-term retirement income. Key findings from the research uncover that nearly 7 in 10 participants fear running out of money in retirement, and only 22% were very confident they could create a retirement income strategy on their own. What can employers do to help? To learn more about the study and request the white paper, visit Invesco.com/retirement income or contact your Invesco DC professional. Cited research is based on Invesco's work with Greenwald Research. Invesco is not affiliated with Greenwald Research. Invesco Advisors, Inc. is an investment advisor that provides investment advisory and does not sell securities. Invesco Distributors, Inc. is the U.S. distributor for Invesco's retail products and private placements. Both are indirect, wholly owned subsidiaries of Invesco Limited.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
I'm seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. We're joined this morning by Michelle Ryan of Upwork Academy. Michelle, thanks so much for sticking with us this morning. Really appreciate you hanging around for segment number 2.
Yeah, very excited to keep chatting about this.
And I just signed up, by the way, for some freelancing. If anyone needs any anchor work, I'm available.
I bet you're expensive.
No. I got to pay the bills. I had 2 cats and a wife. Let's talk about, before we get into the top opportunities out there for freelancers, let's talk about employers. Are they adapting? I know they were slow to adapt. I keep on reading about how Google wants everyone to be in the office, and that surprised me, by the way, because they're a technology firm, or Elon Musk and Twitter saying you got to be in the office. But are they adapting to this freelancing environment? And are you seeing a lot more large, mid-sized employers saying, hey, we're coming to Upwork and we want contractors, we want freelancers?
Really good question. Are they adapting? I will say not as quickly as maybe we would like, or maybe not as quickly as Gen Z would like, right? Because we do still see so many of the employers have this idea, like you have to come into the office, you have to come in to a specific location, you have to be visually present for whatever reason that is. But we are seeing employers start to embrace independent contractors and freelance work. And we are seeing the trend now where, let's say they had a big budget cut during the pandemic and they lost full-time annual salaries for positions. Well, the thing is, though, they still need the work to get done. So we had a lot of companies, employers who were coming onto Upwork and saying, you know what, I used to have a full-time salary staff member do this. I can kind of only afford to hire someone for 6 or 7 months to do this work. Okay, great. So the work is still there. Their work is still available. It's just looking a little different than how they imagined they were going to be hiring for that. And that's certainly to our freelancer community benefit, right? Is they have a lot more employers who are coming on and saying, I used to have a full-time role for this. I don't at this moment. I might in the future, but for right now, I need a person who can do this work for me on a part-time basis or for a specific amount of months instead to do it. What is an interesting trend that we're seeing also on Upwork is a lot of companies are coming in, they're posting their projects or their just short-term work. And then down the road, talking about converting those into full-time hires. So they're kind of using it as a, let's see what the talent pool looks like. Let's see what kind of applicants we can get for these roles. Let's see how well they do the work. Let them prove themselves. And then they're coming in and saying, okay, we're going to make this a full-time position. We got our budget money back. We've got our team is built up to the way that, pre-pandemic, maybe we're actually going to go and look at our freelancer community and bring some of them in as full-time staff members. So yes, they are adapting. Are they adapting as quickly as we or maybe Gen Z would like them to? Probably not. And I think that's kind of always the case. These big mega conglomerations, they're global corporations. I think it's going to take them a little bit longer, but we are really encouraged at the trends that we're seeing on Upwork with how the employers are coming in and still offering work. It might be less than what they imagine, but being open down the road to saying this talent's really amazing. We've got to make them a permanent part of our team and actually going and making that conversion happen.
Yeah, it's really hard to steer a battleship, so I can understand the lack of adaptability. But if you don't adapt, you don't survive. Let's talk about some of the top freelance opportunities. I'm looking at some of them. Content writer, brand ambassador. These are positions that are available on the platform. How popular are these, and how would I apply if I was someone who was interested?
Yeah, social media marketing and content creation it's just not going away, right? All of these companies need it, even though their budgets might have been slashed the past couple of years. They still need branding. They still need opportunities to make sure that they are, getting face time with their customers. So social media marketing and content creation is absolutely a really popular skill set and industry on the platform. What I think is really great about Upwork and really allows for those creative skills is you putting a portfolio together. So more so than that resume that you were sending in or the cover letter that you were sending in on LinkedIn, well, I can submit a portfolio to you, right? I can custom create a proposal that I'm going to send to you on Upwork so you can see the things I've done for other clients or my vision for your business and how I can really just completely revamp your brand if that's what they're looking for. So that is a really popular option on the platform. And again, I really like the idea that you can submit portfolios and proposals and things through Upwork as opposed to that classic, I'm just going to send a resume in, hope that you click on my website and explore on your own. Kind of related to that, graphic designers, web developers, still really popular on the platform. We have a lot of project management positions. Like I mentioned, we also have personal assistants, admin roles, things like that. Yes, we also have, your tech roles, your coders, software developers, things like that. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention AI, generative AI. We're seeing a huge influx of roles coming through. We're really excited to see how that industry is going to be developing. And we absolutely see Upwork as really the go-to right now for companies and employers who are looking for Gen AI talent coming onto Upwork to kind of find and source all of that. We've got such a great, talented community. So I absolutely have to mention Gen AI as kind of this up and coming trending skill we're seeing.
Last question, because you come from with a higher ed background, have you seen, and do you expect education to adapt? Because people that hold your previous role, they've had to adapt to help shepherd is the word I would use, to kids who are future graduates, interns, to find the right opportunity. I mean, how are they going to have to adapt? How is higher ed going to have to adapt to this ever-changing economic marketplace?
Higher ed is not always the fastest to move on things. I come from higher ed. I feel like I'm allowed to say that. It's pretty glacial. I used to use the phrase, U-turning a cruise ship. It takes so long for them to pivot at the speed the students actually need them to do that. But I was actually just at a conference this week and we were talking about Gen Z and just their general interest in the gig economy. And I think that what is really a disservice that has been done to, and I'm a millennials also, not just Gen Z, is that we have been presenting the gig economy for so long as this secondary option, this short-term temporary thing to make money. It's presented as, oh, I'm going to drive Uber or I'm going to be an Instacart shopper. Those are not meaningful work, right? That's not meaningful roles. That's not the case. Like, we really need to be showing students and new grads that you can get meaningful work. You can find a role that is fulfilling to you, that is like your dream job. and it's not traditional employment. And so yes, higher education now has to really come to the table and say, we're going to show them more than we ever did before. We're going to lay down this idea of traditional on-campus recruitment where you get an internship and you get converted to a full-time hire, and just kind of throw that out the window and say, look, yes, that exists, but there's also all of this other opportunity. You know, Upwork's talent community, they earned $3.8 billion last year. And my ask to everyone at this conference this week was, were your students getting a piece of that pie? Did they participate in the gig economy to get a little bit of that money? Or were they so uninformed they didn't realize it was available to them? Because that absolutely is a disservice. And yes, it might be, hey, I'm going to do this short term while I'm figuring out my long-term goal, but it can be a long-term solution, and it can be something that they're doing and that it is fulfilling, that it is meaningful work while they wait for a salary position if that's something that they're looking for. But in addition to higher ed needing to change, the employers need to change as well. They need to start getting creative with how they're sourcing talent. They need to be coming and looking for freelancers and independent contractors and not just looking for that traditional kind of resume. They need to really start valuing short-term work, micro internships, freelance projects. Gen Z's resumes and portfolios are going to look so much different than our millennial or Gen X ones were. And yes, higher ed needs to change, but the employers and the recruiters need to kind of get up to date with it too, and make sure that they're valuing that experience as much as they did that traditional one.
Yeah, well, Bob Dylan used to sing, the times they are changing. And I think that really holds true. And you gotta get with the program. I know a lot of us Gen Xers have as well. Michelle, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great convo. Thanks, Jeffrey.
And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, and all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content, visit our website, and of course, all of our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRN AM. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.